What's up, everybody? It's FYGP, and today we've got another video about the situation in Syria, and it's an interview of Piers Morgan, by Piers Morgan of Jeffrey Sachs, who is a professor at Columbia and was involved in the 1990s within the whole fall of the Soviet Union and the shock therapy sort of transition to capitalism. He was an advisor to Boris Yeltsin during the 1990s. But recently he started speaking out against what is going on in the world and all of the things that are happening, all of the wars and all that. And I think he has always been an anti-interventionist by heart, so I guess he's been speaking out against some of those things quite a lot. So let's take a look at his words about the CIA's role in Syria.
Pieces about the situation in Syria then. I wrote mine for the Daily Mail. This is after a suspected chemical weapons attack in Douma in Syria, left dozens killed, including many young children. I said that the use of chemical weapons by Assad was on Obama's conscience, and it would ultimately embolden only one man, Vladimir Putin. You said on your website at the same time, the US and its allies should face reality and accept the persistence of Assad's regime, despicable as it may be.
Yeah, one thing, by the way, Piers, and honestly, you don't know and I don't know, there's a very significant argument among very knowledgeable people that the chemical weapons was a false flag. And if you know American foreign policy, false flags are the essence of CIA.
But that hasn't been proven,
operations.
as you know. I mean, that's just a theory.
No, it absolutely not proven. Not proven either way. But I know experts that are real experts who say, well, they say at a minimum it's absolutely not proven, but some of them say this is absolutely all of the signature of a false flag operation. And
Absolutely. So I would say, I go as far as to say that it is pretty much proven. Well, the evidence goes in the direction of it being a false flag. Let's just say that. It can't be proven 100%, but all of the evidence points towards those rebels being equipped with these chemical weapons by some outside entity, and perhaps the CIA, Mossad, who knows, conducting those chemical weapons attacks, and under the direction of the United States and Israel.
Some say this is why Obama didn't go farther, because it was laid out to him. This was not even Assad doing this. This was the, quote, rebels under CIA authority.
Exactly. So, yeah, exactly as I said right there. This was the rebels under CIA authority doing this.
And if you study the CIA, as I have for a lifetime, you know that false flags are actually their MO. Are
you seriously suggesting that that Barack Obama and his government and the CIA under his tenure launched a chemical weapons attack on Syrian people, killing a lot of civilians? Do you seriously think that's what happened?
Oh, I'm not saying that Obama did it. Most of the time when the CIA does things, the presidents have no idea what the CIA is doing.
Exactly as well, yeah. Exactly.
But you think the CIA would launch a chemical weapons attack simply to smear Assad?
Of course it would. Are you kidding? It's done much worse than that. It launches coups, assassinations, wars. The whole history of the United States after 1947 is bring down one government after another.
But here's my point. You're always very keen to take a view, even if they're unproven, that is very anti-America. You're never quite so keen to take a view that is anti-dictators. I mean, Assad is a pretty vile dictator. Vladimir Putin is a vile dictator. Do you accept that your views are, I wouldn't say that they are twisted, but perhaps they're slightly jaundiced by the fact that your instinct is always that America's probably to blame unless they can prove otherwise.
Yeah, so Piers Morgan, total shill, total, deep state shill. Oh, you're with Russia, you're with Putin just for pointing out the facts, I guess. Yeah.
No, it's not whether they're dictators or not. It's what the United States' role is. I don't believe that any country can arrogate this task of bringing down other countries' governments. The CIA has been involved in probably 90 or 100 covert regime change operations since it was founded in 1947. My whole life has been the United States at war. It's sickening. It's tiring because these wars are disasters. So it's just not our business to say that one's despicable, that one has to go. But literally, by the way, this is what Obama did. It's a shame that he did this. He said, Assad must go.
Yeah.
Well, come on. When he said that, by the way, in 2011 and 2012, and Hillary Clinton said that, I said, oh my God, here we go again. And literally, Piers, it's been 13 years of mass killing since then. No resolution at all. Completely predictable. This is what I'm against.
On a point of principle, when Obama said, if Assad uses chemical weapons, we will act, and then didn't act, from a purely political perspective, did that open the door for Putin to then just come in and have significantly higher influence in Syria and the region than he would otherwise have had?
Well, remember, just on this one fact, because it's really important, it is said in our newspapers all the time, Russia intervened in Syria. Russia intervened in Syria. Russia came into Syria in 2015. The United States planned to overthrow Assad dates to 2011. Russia came in 4 years afterward. We should never have done that. This was Netanyahu's provocation. He wanted wars in all those.
Absolutely. Yeah, Netanyahu is a big part behind all of that. So, yeah, just Bibi in the background, doing all of the shady deals with U.S. oligarchs and influencing campaigns. And actually, he funded Miriam and Sheldon Adelson. They funded also Trump. So I guess, it's you get two sides of the same coin kind of when it comes to this Israel policy. But this is really radical what they're doing right now, this overthrow of Assad and this bringing in this character who was a member of, ISI and AQ. So, yeah, you can, by the way, there's a video where it says ISI, Israeli Secret Intelligence, actually. So, yeah, but it also means something else. And there's an S also behind it, but I can't say that. So, the militaries in Syria. So, who is supporting them? The West is supporting them.
Those countries that I listed. Why are we doing Netanyahu's work when it is a failure anyway? So Russia didn't jump in and we had to react. Russia came in 4 years after we started this. We started this because Syria was on Netanyahu's list. And it was literally a list, by the way. We know from this remarkable story of the former NATO commander, Wesley Clark, the supreme commander of NATO.
Yeah, no.
Wesley Clark went into the Pentagon, after 9/11, and he was given the list of the 7 countries that we were going to take out in 5 years. This was Netanyahu's list.
Yeah, I know Wesley Clark well. I wanted to ask you, the ICC has issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu. Do you support that?
Of course.
But France's top appeals court...
I wish that some American presidents were on that list.
Right, many would agree with you. But I was then going to ask...
So here comes the gotcha from Piers Morgan.
That in June this year, France's top appeals court ruled that there should be an arrest warrant for al-Assad, alleging his alleged conspiracy or complicity in crimes against humanity and war crimes. Would you support that?
I support the ICC and the ICJ, and I believe that we should try to make international law work because we're very close to global self-destruction. So I would like international law to work. Putin is under an ICC warrant. I would like Russia to defend its proposition that Putin's innocent or that Russia's innocent, or Israel to defend the proposition that they're innocent. This is what a legal process should be about. I don't like it when countries say, no, we don't support this or we don't support that. We should try to make these international institutions work, but have full accountability. When the ICC threatened that it would indict Netanyahu, we had half the Senate up in arms. We're going to sanction these judges. We're going to end the court. We're going to penalize them. No, we should have international law working properly. This would make for a much more peaceful world, actually.
I know you haven't specifically answered.
I don't believe, by the way, Piers, it's not one country doing it. For me, what is important is that this should be international. I'm a believer in the United Nations, maybe one of the few right now. I hope that's not true. I mean, the UN actually has broad public support, but it can't function when great powers are flagrantly ignoring its rule of law. I believe that all the great powers should submit to the UN Charter without their veto power, basically.
But just in relation to my specific question about the France top appeals court ruling an arrest warrant for al-Assad over very similar allegations to the ICC.
A French court?
Yeah, it's France's top appeals court in June 2024.
Yeah, look, I mean, a national court is not very interesting in this regard. France is one of the imperial powers of the Middle East, is hardly in a position to adjudicate about a leader in the Middle East. It would be interesting to have a good historical adjudication of France's role, which has been disastrous. But I believe what we should be focusing on is international.
Well, exactly. That is so true.
Courts. We have two of them, the ICJ and the ICC, and we should be helping to make those two UN-based courts work.
Let me ask you briefly about Ukraine. Very interestingly...
Okay, so he goes into Ukraine. That's going to be also quite interesting. And let's take a little... Yeah, take a look.
President Zelensky, at the weekend, in an interview with Stuart Ramsey at Sky News, said this.
One alternative, perhaps, again, this is reported from the United States. And it's fairly simple, really, is that Ukraine joins NATO, but Russia takes control and keeps the land that it has to date. Would that be a possibility?
Ніхто не пропонував нам бути в НАТО.
No one has offered us to be in NATO with just one part or another part of Ukraine. That's for once. The fact is that it is a solution to stop the hot stage of the war, because we can just give the NATO membership to the part of Ukraine that is under our control.
Факт, можна було б, ніхто не пропонував.
Yes, it could be possible, but no one offered.
What struck me as most interesting about that, when I interviewed Zelensky 2 years ago in Kyiv, he was never, he said, prepared to even concede an inch of territory.
The whole proposal is absolutely ridiculous. Oh yeah, you just take the 4 provinces, but we get to join NATO. The rest of us. Oh, he's totally nervous. The little green man in Ukraine, he is nervous. Zelensky literally means green. Zelensky, Zeleno in Russian means green. So He's literally the little green man, you know.